Hello, this is Miss Janet with JLS Success Central, and welcome to my channel. We are a DIY resource center that provides information on all things having to do with personal finance and helping you go to the next level in life. Now, when you talk personal finances, you can't discuss personal finances without discussing your credit score. Actually, your credit score is a strong indicator of your financial well-being. So today we're going to start off with 22 ways to improve your credit. Some you may be familiar with, or some you may not. I'll tell you, this time last year, my score was plummeted. It was in the mid fives. And now I range from 722 to 766. I didn't do any credit hacks. I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't do any quick fixes. I just followed the instructions that I was given. And I had some really good people working with me. Now, what I want to tell you before we get started, I have a disclaimer. I am not a credit repair person, nor am I a financial consultant. I just want to share with you what was shared with me. It worked for me. It can work for you. So let's get started on 22 ways to increase your credit score. Let's do this. Here we are. 22 ways to increase your credit score. Okay, number one, we're just going to go right down to the tips. Learn what your credit score currently is so you'll know where you're starting from. Hey, you can't fix something if you don't know what's wrong. And you don't know if anything's wrong unless you examine information pertaining to what it is you're trying to fix. So the first thing you do is get your credit reports. Now, let me tell you, I am not throwing shade at Credit Karma, but the first time you hear credit report, you think Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, all these free sites, but they're good for notification. You want to get those to notify you. So if somebody inquiring about your credit, or if maybe somebody's trying to use your credit and it could be some type of fraud or something, those sites are excellent for letting you know, especially Credit Karma. But when you want to really know what's going on with your credit, you want to go to a FICO based, and you're going to have to pay for these credit reports, but you can start off with annualcreditreport.com, and you can get free credit reports, Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax once a year for free. And because of COVID, you can get one every week if you need one. Now, I wouldn't suggest you do that, but you can up through April 1st, 2021, you can get a free credit report. So what I'm going to do is the link is down below, and check it out and get your free credit report, because that's the first place you start. Now, number two, have errors in your credit report corrected. Okay. This is why you're getting your credit report, because you want to see if there's problems with the account numbers. You want to see if somebody's double reporting. You just want to see what's going on. You want to see if your name is correct. You want to see all sorts of things, but you have to review your score. And check this out. You are the only one that's going to find them. You are someone that you hire to find this information. But since this is a DIY channel, I'm talking directly to you. So you want to go through each line, and you want to find the irregularities or inconsistencies or errors, and you want to make note of them, and you want to dispute. Now, I'm not gonna talk about disputing with each credit reporting agency in this video, but we have information that we can send to you, or we will discuss on a future video with regards to this. We're just giving you an overview at this point. So number three, keep track of your credit score. Obtain your score at least every 6 months. Now, if you have good credit and you're just trying to build on it more, then every 6 months is good. But if you're repairing your credit and you're like I was last year in the 500s, even 600s, you want to, get a little bit more often to see your progress. Okay. Now, number 4, start paying off credit card debt. I cannot tell you how important this is. I had a little fingerhut card, and I've had it for about 4 years. And they ultimately gave me, I'm up to $3,000, I guess a $3,000 credit limit, or $3,500, something like that. And I had $300. I had only used $300 of the $3,500 limit. And I read where if you pay the bill down, it'll make a difference. So it was $300. I paid $100. And I'm trying to tell you, my score went up like 15 points. I was like, oh. So I waited a couple of months and paid another $100 on that 300. Now the balance was 200. Guess what? My score went up another 15 points. So there's 30 points. So I'm not going to pay it off because I don't want to have a zero balance. So I paid 75 of that. You know what? My score went up like about 40, total of 45 points just by doing that on all 3 credit bureaus. So paying your bills down will make a difference. Okay. Now, number 5. Pay off what you charge on your credit card each month. I cannot tell you how important that is. Don't charge more than you can pay off the end of the month or when the bill is due. I personally just try to keep my usage down to like 12 to 15% of my amount that I have to use. That's up to you. But if you use your card like for gas and for groceries, and I know it's a difficult time right now, but if you're using your card for gas and groceries, don't charge more than you can pay off. That'll help you so much. Number 6, avoid charging any of your cards up to the limit, even if you do plan to pay it off when your next payment. Look at this. Listen. Sometimes we have to buy refrigerators. Sometimes the hot water heater goes off in the house. Sometimes the washing machine goes down. All manner of things go wrong, and I understand this. So sometimes we do have to max it out. But if it's not an emergency like that, you kind of want to, you just don't want to max out your card. I was on the bad credit. I had exhausted. I had maxed out on my cards, and I was on this merry-go-round for about 3 years. I was making minimum payments and nothing was going on. Nothing was happening. Score wasn't moving. Oh, it was just a mess. Don't go through that. And if you've already gone through it, don't do it again, Now, if you have a lot of purchases, instead of maxing out, or if you have more than one purchase, instead of maxing out one card, try to spread it over several cards or a couple of cards if you can. And I know this is difficult times right now. COVID has not made it easy for any of us, with everything being closed and, people being laid off their jobs and furloughed and unemployment, just, especially in California, I don't even want to talk about EDD. So that's not what this video is about. That's another video. But anyway, try to avoid maxing out your cards. Now, number 7, this is a good one. I know I just said COVID. I know people are on unemployment, or they're waiting for their unemployment, or they're working part-time, or they just went back to work. In any event, if you can, pay your bills early, well before the due date. So maybe you get what do you call it? Maybe you get paid. Your pay period is 2 weeks before the bill is due. Pay it. Just pay it. On another note, number 8 says you can set up an automatic payments through your bank account and all your credit accounts to ensure timely payments will be made. Even if you, and you know, it says even if you're on vacation. We're not even talking about that. We're talking about even the situation that's going on now in the United States with COVID and the economy and everything. But when I started doing, the debit, automatic debits, oh my goodness, even if I forget, it's going to pay the minimum amount. So I wasn't getting 30-day lates anymore. So that helped me, because instead of me being 30-day late all the time, I started not being 30 days late. I started doing better. And it's just, it takes a lot of pressure off of you. And I understand the economy, but these things you can use to protect your credit while we're going through. Because understand, you know what? Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. That means it's dark right now, but the sun's gonna rise again, and we're gonna be going on about our business. So hopefully this can help you protect your credit or increase your credit, whichever works for you at this juncture. Okay. Number 9, your debit to credit limit ratio should never go higher than 30%, even if you pay off what you charge each month. So I cannot tell you how to run your business, but I'm like I said, I'm 12 to 15%. I have never gone close to 30 yet, because I have had bad credit for so long. And again, like I told you, I was in the 5 last year, and that's with credit cards, but I was paying the minimum on maxed out cards, so I wasn't getting anywhere. So what I want to tell you is, if you can keep your debt to credit ratio down, that will help you tremendously. Number 11, request an increase in your credit card limits. Now look, if you're savvy, that's good. If you're disciplined, that's good. There's only two reasons to increase your credit, call them and ask for an increase in your credit limit. That's to make your debt to income ratio look good, and you have to really be disciplined not to use that money, or there's an emergency and you need to increase your limit so that you can do something. I had a friend, they had a death in the family, and they had to fly out to a certain state, and it was 5 of them. And her credit card, she only had enough for 3. And she called and she got her limit was increased. So all of them could fly to go bury, that loved one. Well, things happen. Stuff happens. You do what you have to do. But if you don't have to, and you get an increase in your credit, don't spend it if you don't have to. Okay? All righty. Now, where are we? Beware of balance transferring, especially to a card with lower limit. That never made sense to me. Moving money to another card, so I have more money on one card, but then I got more credit on another card, and that card has a lower limit, so I'm maxing out that limit, or my debt to income ratio is higher. So be careful about doing something like that. Number 12, send a letter to your creditors requesting that they re-age your account if you've paid at least 3 months on time, and they're still listing your account as delinquent. You know what? That worked for me on a couple of my creditors. And others, they weren't having it. But, it's their decision. But if you've shown that you're back on track, you know what? It's worth a try. You have not because you ask not. So ask them and see if they'll re-age the account. If you have, started paying everything on time and have been consistent over several months. Okay, now what's the next one? All right, we asked for a re-age. Hey, if any of this information you find valuable, helpful to you, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel, because we have a lot of good stuff, and we have a lot of free information that we want to send you. Actually, this list that we're going through right now is available to you for free. We like to send it to you. Well, you know what? You might have been taking notes, so you might know some of these things, but it's good to have a checklist right in front of you. It's good to have a guide right in front of you to help you. You know, it's right there so you can see, oh, this is where I'm falling short, so I need to fix this. Well, let me implement this. You know, it'll help you change some habits. We have it for you. So at the end of this video, stick with me and I'll tell you how to get this free 22 ways to increase your credit checklist. Okay. Now, what if you're having problems making your payments on time? Well, you talk to the lender. Don't get a 30-day late. You know, I'm not telling you what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. That's just horrible. You know, I might have been paying the minimum, but I have been paying on the card for like 3 years, not a late payment. And then I missed one payment. Then I missed another payment. All I had to do was call them and tell them that I was having financial problems, but I didn't. Sometimes we kind of like act like a problem is going to go away, but trust and believe. Credit is a problem you don't want. Bad credit is a problem you don't want because it does not go away. It will stick around for 7 years, 10 if it's a bank, if you end up filing bankruptcy or you get judgments. So, you know, call the creditors, especially now. They are working with everyone. You can get a forbearance, you can get payments put on the end, you can get a deferment. You just have to reach out, you know, again, especially now while we're trying to recover from COVID. Everybody's working with everyone. Okay. So pay off small disputes rather than have them sent to collections. That's right. Especially those little doctor bills, pay them off. You know, you got a cable bill and you're no longer with them, pay it off. It's just not worth the 30 days. It's just not worth the late payment. Number 15, avoid opening or closing several accounts at once. And I'm going to go to the next one. So I'm going to combine 15 and 16. Okay, avoid opening or closing several accounts at once. Number 16 said, now, if you're shopping for a house, car, or other items that require financing, try to get all inquiries to your credit to occur within a 2-week period. There it is right there. You don't want to be applying for a lot of credit all over the place. But sometimes, like when you're purchasing a home or you're purchasing a car, you just want to do everything within that 2-week period so it won't damage your credit, because inquiries, they can be a problem too. Now, I just praise God. That's one thing I haven't had a problem with, because I was always afraid of them being on my credit report and damaging. Now, mind you, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do in other areas, but the inquiries was something that I really paid attention to. So number 17, keep old credit accounts open. Closing them will reduce your available credit amount, raise your debt to income ratio, and take away positive points for having an aged account in good standing. Keep these aged accounts active by using them every two months. I want to tell you about 2 of them I had. One I wasn't using it, and I was like, you know what? I'm not using this thing. I'm just going to have them close it. Wrong move. They closed it. Score went through. And had I kept it and just used it every couple of months, you know, just charged a little on it, I would have had that card now for 6 years. And that's pretty good. You know, you want to have age credit like 10 to 15 years, but you know what? You know, some of us are late starters. Some of us are late bloomers. Some of us are just getting our act together. So I was one of those, and I closed that account. And then I had another account that I wasn't using. The lender closed it. All I had to do was order some little, they had little cheap stuff, so I didn't want it. I just opened it so I could get the credit, so I could get increase my score. I didn't like that cheap stuff they had, but I should have ordered it, and that one would have been 5 or 6 years, but I didn't. So make sure you keep old accounts, especially if they're not reporting negative, you know, keep them in good standing, okay? Now, 18, you want to maintain a mix of installment loans and credit cards. Installment loans are car loans, department store loans. Credit cards is revolving credit. That's let me back up. Installment loans or car loans and department store loans, and it's the same amount every month. Okay. Now, credit cards is revolving credit, and it's a different amount every month. So you want to keep a good mix of that. You want to make sure, and like number 19 says, get at least one major credit card, at least one major credit card. You want to get a Visa or a MasterCard or a Discover or American Express, at least one, okay? And 20, take out a small personal loan and repay it over the year. I'm going to do a video on this because I think it's very important, because they have banks and credit unions that have what they call credit building loans, where they loan you the money. You can't get it in your hands, but they open up an account with a certain amount and you make a payment every month. And after the payment, everything has been paid, you get that money. So, you not only get the credit, you get credit because they report to all 3 credit reporting agencies. So not only do you get good credit ratings, you get you get the money. And in some cases, you get the interest. But stay tuned. I'm doing a video on that, and I have some really good stuff, some really good information for you about that. Okay. So we're almost done here. We're on number, what is it? 21. If your score is low, get a secured MasterCard or Visa and build your credit with that. Now, you have to be careful with those cards because sometimes the interest, the APR is so high, 18, 20, 25. I've even seen some 30-something%, but they have them lower. They have them like 12 and so on and so forth. Be careful about that and don't carry limits on them. You definitely want to pay those off every month because you're just racking up interest. And it makes things more difficult. It's like you're not getting anywhere. I had a secured card and I ended up owing more than what I had originally deposited and borrowed. So it's not funny, but it's true. So somebody might be going through the same thing. I want to let you know you're not alone. Miss Janet been there, done that. And there are even some secure credit cards that they what do they call it? They change to unsecured. They graduate. That's what it's called. They graduate to unsecured credit card. So when you have to conduct your due diligence, you have to trust but verify. They trust them that they can, that they'll increase your credit score, but verify all the terms and everything that's involved in that. Okay. So last thing I want to tell you is don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. It didn't take you a few weeks to get in this situation. So understand it's going to take you a while to get everything straightened out. But once you do, life is so much better with good credit than it is with bad credit. I'm not using my credit, but I have some plans. And now I can make plans. Financially, things are getting better and better because I'm not having to pay cash for everything if I want to do something. So, you know what? Stick with Miss Janet and JLS Success Central. We have a lot for you. And like I said, I wanted to tell you that the information I just shared with you, click on the link below and get yourself a copy of that. It's free. We have more information for you. I have a blog. My blog is www.jlssuccesscentral.com, and that link is below. And if you go on the blog, you'll see we have ebooks that's available for purchase from what, $9.99 to $29.99. But we also, whenever I do a video, anything I put up on the screen, it's available to you for free. You just have to ask for it. All right? Well, thank you so much for spending this time with me. My name is Miss Janet with JLS Success Central. Grace and peace, and I'll see you next time.